All the time? Oh my gosh, I gotta follow a girl that's talented and everybody's crying. A co-worker that can sing and tell jokes. And a sensitive pastor. So this is gonna be a fun gig. Let's have a round of applause for your DJ and MC. Yeah, he's doing two things. They're supposed to be illusionists, so I guess I'm the comedian and illusionist tonight. Oh, it's so good to be back out seeing humans and face and teeth. Oh my gosh, because before COVID, one of the hardest gigs I did was at a senior citizens home, and they had to wear like air mask, so you couldn't hear the laughter, but I knew I was doing well because I saw it fog up. And my worst gig that I had to do when I first started out 18 years ago that I saw at one of my gigs, I saw an empty wheelchair. Yeah, you know how messed up that is? I'm like, was I that bad? The guy just got up and walked out? But it's good to be here. You guys should change your name to Van Dope because you're so beautiful. Yeah, give them a round of applause. Mr. and Mrs. Van Dope. Happy to be back out. The whole world's turned 180 degrees upside down because of COVID. Kids are sneaking out of their house to go to school. You don't eat on a patio, you're in a parking lot. Before COVID, somebody sneezes, you go, bless you. Now somebody sneezes, you go, ooh. And I'm allowed to wear a mask in a bank. And I hate wearing masks. Anybody like me hate wearing masks? You ever sneeze or burp in your mask? Don't you feel like you just pooped your pants on your face? And in phase one last year, one of my first gigs I had to do, well, what Yuck Yucks calls my booker, they called me up, they said, you want to do Zoom shows, because everything was from home. I'm like, I don't want to make people laugh on a computer. I don't want to do that. Then they said it pays $800 for 15 minutes. Yeah, I'm like, all I want to do is a zoom, zoom, zoom in my room. That was during phase one. Phase two last summer, I had to do another awkward gig. I had to do a show at an Ontario place at the drive-in theater. Yeah, I had to make cars laugh. Everybody's sitting in their car. If they like your joke, they honk. If they don't like you, they high beam. Yeah. You know how degrading it is to get flicked off by a Dodge Caravan? I just got heckled by a soccer mom. What are you supposed to say? You got one headlight out, Karen. And after I got my second vax, anybody like me, where'd you feel so confident? Yeah, and I was so confident. I was in my condo elevators licking buttons. But it's good, man. What's FedEx slogan? The world is on time? Well, the world has stopped for 2 years, and you guys lost all my packages. But it's great to see everybody here together again, man. Because the great Martin Luther King Jr. said, people hate each other because they fear each other. Either fear each other because they don't know each other. People don't know each other because we're often kept separated. And why that rings true to me, because I grew up in Montreal in the hood, and when I went to college, I had to share a dorm with this white dude named Billy, and he didn't know much about me, I didn't know much about him. So he would play his rock music, Highway to Hell, and I would play my reggae. Then he'd turn up his rock music, I'd turn up my reggae. And one day he just walked into my room and goes, how do you listen to that? I'm like, what? He goes, that reggae. I'm like, what's the problem? He goes, it sounds like Cookie Monster. I'm like, Cookie Monster? He goes, gimme cookie, gimme cookie, gimme cookie. But we both had a laugh and it brought us together. Because you got black people, you got white people, you got Asian people, you got brown people. We're all just human beings, right? But once we learn to laugh together, we see past certain things, right? Like, for instance, Jamaicans, we're all different, right? Like, I'll give you an example. White people, when they go to a Jamaican restaurant, they call it sauce. We call it gravy. White people call it a washcloth. What do we call it? A rag. White people name their screwdrivers. Oh, give me the Phillips and the Robertson. Black people, Jamaicans, just pass me the star point. What a flat point. And white people talk at the dinner table. Do you know that? Hey, Becky, how was your day? It was okay, how was your day? At a Jamaican dinner table, all your... And And white people, you know what I love about you guys? You guys eat peanuts all happy. Like Jamaicans, we eat peanuts like we're spinning dice. Thank you. It's like, not true, not true. I know when you were making your list to come here, like your invitation list, you made sure people were fit enough to get up those stairs, didn't you? I can see Jamaicans like, where the elevator? May I have a tech shuckle? And you know what confuses Jamaicans too? How many Tim Hortons there are in Canada. There's way too many Tim Hortons. You know how you know there's too many Tim Hortons? If you're in Tim Hortons and can see another Tim Hortons. And Jamaicans, we didn't grow up drinking coffee. We grew up drinking tea, Cersei tea, Milo, Horlicks, yeah, chocolate, hot water. Ask a Jamaican what's a double-double, he'll tell you 10 rebounds, 10 assists. But I moved from Montreal and I love living in Toronto because I love the culture diversity. That's why Toronto's so beautiful. Because in Montreal, if I went to a Greek restaurant, who serves you? Greek people. You go to an Italian restaurant, who serves you? Italian people, right? Well, up here in Toronto, you got Filipinos in Taco Bell, Indian people, Mr. Greek. I was like, buddy, where you learn to make souvlaki like that? He goes, I've been all over the world. I'm like, what's your name, man? Been there, done that. I went to a Jamaican restaurant in Scarborough, had an Asian lady working. I said, excuse me, can I have a jerk pork? You want a jerk pork? Yeah. Don't get me wrong, it's cool to have a Jamaican lady working in a Jamaican restaurant, but you never see a Jamaican like myself working in like the Mandarin, because we point with our lips. Like, excuse me, can I have some egg rolls? Over there, man. Where's the rice? Over there, so. Buffet. And being Jamaican, we do not believe in menus. Whatever we cook that day becomes the menu. So you can walk into a Jamaican restaurant and say, excuse me, can I have a jerk chicken dinner? Jerk chicken, no cook. Can I have a stewed chicken dinner? Stewed chicken, no cook. Can I have a pate? Pate done. So white people, wouldn't you be mad if Jamaica's old McDonald's? Can you imagine? You walk in there, can I have a Big Mac combo? Big Mac, no cook. Can I have a big chicken combo? Chicken, no pluck. Be like, can I goddamn see the manager? Lucky! Customer here for see you. Some dreader walk out the back. Sorry for the inconvenience. Here's a free big soup. Thank you, Mr. Lucky. Can I have a spoon? Over there, man. And when I moved from Montreal, I moved to Mississauga, and nobody told me up there the cops understand patois. Yeah, because there's a lot of Jamaicans up here. Because I grew up in Montreal. If a cop is taking long with your paperwork, you could cuss them all off, because all they do is speak French, right? Give me my move, go ahead. All you can hear is, quoi? Qu'est-ce qu'il y a, le gouet? Tried that same thing in Mississauga, got pulled over, 6'4" white guy, taking long with my paperwork. I said, man, move yourself. He looked at me and goes, oh, yeah, talk to. I was like, quoi? I'll share another quick story with you. My son hooked me up during COVID. Remember phase 2 when you couldn't get a haircut? My son, he went to high school in Brampton, so he hooked me up with his friend. So I called it a bootleg haircut. I had to go to like Williams Parkway and Main Street. And if you guys been to Main Street's scary. Just get going over there. Main Street's so ghetto, even the hospital took off. Like, hey, we're going to Beauvais. It was on Queen Street, I think, right? So I call it a bootleg haircut, right? Because everything was closed. I had to go to right there, Williams Parkway. I had to go in the back of it. Was like an 80s drug deal. I had to go to the back alley, walk through, look around, knock on the door, say the secret word, COVID cuts. Then I got a fade. I'm walking back out. I had to put a hat on. All these guys are in the alley. Know where to get a haircut? Yeah, man. White people now in Brampton's a rumor, isn't it? It's all East Indians and Jamaicans. I went into the Walmart on Beauvais. even the Walmart greeter was Jamaican. He had his apron in his back pocket. He's like, yo, welcome to Walmart, man. Yo, welcome to Walmart. Crazy, man. You guys good? You guys enjoy? Do some more? Do some more jokes? Okay. Okay. I'm getting heckled by an 8-year-old. This is awesome. So, see, that's white privilege. You could stay on the floor. Jamaican mom, get up! You want to dirty up your clothes? Yeah. But, yeah, I've had some cool jobs in my life, though. I had some cool jobs before comedy. One of the jobs I did, I used to work in a psych unit, right, in a hospital. I was an orderly. I was a caregiver, right? Any first frontline workers here? Anybody? Give them a round of applause. And working at the psych unit, it wasn't the patients that got to me, it was nurses. They asked me some crazy stuff, like this nurse asked me to brush a patient's teeth. That's what I did. As an orderly, as a caregiver, I went to brush the guy's teeth. The guy had one tooth. I'm like, miss, you want me to floss? And one time, you can't make this up, this guy came in and he goes, I'm Julius Caesar. I'm Julius Caesar. He took hospital sheets, he put them around him. He took a plant, he put it around his head like a vine. For 3 days, he's walking around, I'm Julius Caesar. I said, who told you you're Julius Caesar? He goes, God told me. This other patient walks by, goes, no, I didn't. So as a couple, who do you think nags more, men or women? No, it's definitely women. Because you ever see an old couple, it's always the man with the hearing aid. I don't care, that's funny, I don't. 2 years ago, I was on the couch watching Tiger King, so this is great. But women, you guys are way smarter than men. Yeah, give them a round of applause. Give away. Like, if I ask Rochelle a question and she's going to lie to me, she's going to go, huh? And it's going to be a lie because they think about things all day. You guys can answer like this. Men, he's not as smart as you. If I ask Chris the question and he's going to lie, you know what men do? We need more time, so we repeat the question. Where were you last night? Where was I last night? So my daughter, 14 years old, smart as a whip, right? Before COVID, on her birthday, she wanted to go to Harvey's she loves Harvey's. She wanted to go Harvey's on her birthday, right? And I don't have the Uber app, right? And you ever have a cab driver that's a chatty Cathy, won't shut up? And this is how smart my daughter is. So we're going up Jarvis Street. We're in a sketchy part of Toronto. I had no idea. We get to Harvey's. She looks out the window, and she sees all these girls standing on a corner, right? And she goes, Dad, why are those girls standing on the corner? I said, baby, they're waiting for the husbands to pick them up after work. Good answer, right? Cab driver pipes up. He's like, how old is she? I said, she's 12. He goes, just tell her the truth. They got internet. All I heard is, Daddy, what are you lying about? I said, baby, they're called prostitutes. She goes, what's a prostitute? I said, a sex worker. Somebody has sex for money. She goes, oh, my God, what happens to the kid if they become pregnant? I'm like, I don't know. They become taxi drivers. So I got the Uber app now. But there you go. That's deep, yo. So it's Gabby. How old are you? 17. Oh, you're awesome, man. It was great watching up here. You know, you kids have stuff a lot differently than when we grew up, right? You know, most of us in here. Yeah, you know that, right? These kids don't know how lucky they are, and she's talented, and she's going to do great. You can see how bright she is. 'Cause my daughter wanted a bike for her birthday, and I brought the bike to her house. Her mother looks at me and goes, where's the rest of her stuff? I'm like, what stuff? She goes, knee pads, elbow pads, wrist pads, helmet. I was like, Christ, I never even had brakes. Growing up, my foot was my back brakes. But you guys have things differently. You had a super soaker water gun, right? Hook it up to a garden hose. What up everybody in the backyard? You know what we had? A piece of crap gun. You had to put the top on trickle to fill that up. Grandma could dribble on you faster than that. These kids today have Werther's Original Candy. Individually wrapped. You know, we had a big old brick of Macintosh toffee. We had to break that to share that, right? That thing could pull 3 fillings at once. You know, these kids aren't allowed to take peanut butter sandwiches to school because another kid might be allergic to it. Yeah, if we were allergic to peanut butter, we'd have to sit there in class like this. These kids have squeezable ketchup and shampoo bottles. Squeezable, they sit upside down. What do we have to do? And when that got near to the bottom, my mother used to fill that with water. Now my fries and ketchup look like tomato soup and I got split ends. These kids have little gummy vitamins. You know, we had Flintstone vitamin because we like flavored chalk. And what did you have? You have a little lunch bag you took to school? Lunch bag? You know what we had? A big old Scooby-Doo lunch box. You get into a fight like, oh my God, Cedric, was there a thermos in there? Do you know what a thermos is? Oh, I was going to say Google it. And you guys have cell phones. Gabby, how old were you when you got your first cell phone? Oh my gosh. Because they're called smartphones because they're making you guys not think any. Do you know 3 phone numbers off by heart? Nope. Call it smartphones because it's making them not as smart anymore. I'm not saying she's not right, but because they retain everything, right? Like if you get caught shoplifting, you're in jail all weekend. Is it true, right? Yeah. Ma. Yeah. But cell phones, if something happens, you could press 911. You know what I had? An emergency quarter. You know what he had? You had an emergency dime, right? And we used to use that to buy jujubes. You know what jujubes are? Oh, okay. I was going to say Google it. Because, you know, I'll give you an example, like, because you guys can't remember stuff like we can, right? I'm going to go back 35 years ago. McDonald's, listen to this, used to make us memorize the menu. Watch this, 35 years ago. 2 all beef patties. Pickles on. That's 35 years ago. Alzheimer's is over here, but they remember. I'm going to try 40 years ago. Big Mac Filet-O-Fish, quarter pounder French fries. Icy Coke, thick shakes, sundaes and apple pie. You deserve 40 years ago, Gabby. Because we grew up to jingles and we remember all. Watch this. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both. See? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. See? Come and knock on my door. See who's waiting for you. Where the kisses are hers and hers.
It's his company.
See? 40 years ago, Gabby. You would never be able to remember that because you got smartphones. All you probably know is McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. True story. My son, we're on Amazing Race. We're the first black father-son Jamaican on the show. If anybody's watched the first episode, we knocked off Julie Black. She's directionally challenged. It was beautiful. So my son graduated from university, and it's hard for a black man to say he graduated with a master's degree. Yeah, from McGill with a master's degree. Surprisingly, because I remember, because kids today are smart, but they're lazy. I remember when he was in high school, I asked him to go to the store to buy bread. He's like, come on, Dad, drive me. I said, the store is 2 blocks away. Come on, drive me. I go, you know Terry Fox ran across Canada on 1 leg? He goes, where's Terry Fox now? I said, he's dead. He goes, exactly, drive me. And so me and his mom co-parented, and I remember when he was in high school, they would buck heads. And when a kid becomes a teenager, they try to like challenge us, like to see who. And his mother couldn't take the talking back. I knew how to deal with him because I made him, right? And the first time we had a confrontation, he was like 15 years old. I came home from a gig, like 2 in the morning. I go to use the bathroom. He peed, forgot to flush the toilet. So I went to wake him up. I said, you forgot to flush the toilet. You know what he said to me? He goes, at the airport, it flushes itself because they got sensors. His mom would have lost it. I didn't scream at him like his mom did. I just did what any intelligent dad would do. I dropped him at the airport. So last year, he was on a reality show. He's the first POC, person of color, to win it. It's called Big Brother Canada. My son won $120,000. He came home the next day and showed me his bank account. He had $132,000. I'm like, you had 12 grand in your bank account? And he got paid right away. I'm like, Big Brother's definitely white. And people asked me, it was down to the last 3 people, did you think your son was going to win? And if you haven't watched the show, you have to be the last one left in the house, right? So they asked me, do you think your son was going to win? I'm like, yep. They go, how do you know? I go, because in high school, his mom kicked him out. He wasn't trying to get kicked out of another house. I remember he called me up, like, Dad, Mom kicked me out. I didn't know what to say. I'm like, she kicked me out too. But my mom, Jamaican mom, she raised 3 of us with no father. And just like my heart goes out, she's the strongest woman I know. She actually came to visit me recently from Montreal. She's been in Canada 40 years and still has her Jamaican accent. You can't give a Jamaican lady directions to Mississauga. You tell her to get off at Dixie, she gets off at Dixon. She can't pronounce anything else. Where am I getting off? Katra? Herring Mills? Or Ontario? The only exits she ever remembers are the ones that sound like my auntie and uncle. She's like, where am I getting off? Winston Army of this. And she always calls me when I'm driving. She goes, yeah, chat on the phone while you drive? I'm like, yes, Mom. She goes, that's illegal. Must get the blue teeth. I'm like, Mom, blue teeth? You know the air oak. But my mom saved all her money to buy a house, right? And she moved us out the hood to West Island. She bought a house, and she had no money for anything else. And she knew that, she always knew me and my brother up to no good. Like, she knew that we knew that she knew, but she never said anything. And Jamaican moms are always worried. She'd always be in the window when I'm coming home. So one night I came home, in the middle of the night, I was pushing a lawnmower. She looks out the window, she goes, where I got that lawnmower? I said, Mom, my friend gave it to me. She goes, at 3 in the morning? I'm like, yeah, he just finished work. No word of her life, she looks out, she goes, can your friend get a barbecue? And during COVID, she started like cooking different stuff just to keep herself, you know what I mean, like, just keep her busy, right? And we call her Sneaky Chef because she changes stuff. She replaces like ingredients with other ingredients and it doesn't make sense. She goes, today I may make shepherd pie, but I may use bully beef. I'm going to make chicken cacciatore, but I'm going to use goat head. Oh. So, man, I recently had a mouse in the house. Anybody ever have mice? Yeah, I didn't know much about it. I'm Jamaican. We grew up with cockroaches. So my roommate said to me, go to Canadian Tire and get a mouse trap. So I went to Canadian Tire and I found one. It was about this big. It looked like a little condominium for the mouse. It's $33. I can't afford that. I'm a Canadian entertainer. I found one was $19.99. It looked like clothespins. Snaps the little bugger's neck. I didn't want to pick up mouse guts. Then I found one was $12.99. It was sticky paper. I put one in the kitchen, one in the bedroom, one in the bathroom. When I woke up in the morning, all I saw was mouse hair on the sticky paper. I just gave the bugger a little $13 wax. If any of you guys ever walking around Mississauga, see a mouse with nice eyebrows, that's my mouse. But because of all the, everything's diversity and it's about diversity and inclusion because of the whole George Floyd and finally they're recognizing what we've gone through as a people. And somebody asked me, like one of my white friends asked me the other day, he goes, what did he say to me? He goes, Said, did you experience racism as a kid? I'm like, we all did. It was microaggressions, but we didn't know what it was, racism. Like when I was in grade 6, this kid was being mean. I didn't know this. He said to me, go back to Africa. It confused me because I'm Jamaican. And I recently Googled Africa. You know how much to go to Africa? It's like $3,000. Even Africans don't go back to Africa. And then I remember in high school, this kid, Billy, we worked at this deli together. Billy said this to me. He goes, Sid, I like your people. I'm like, okay. I like your kind. I go, Billy, that's racist. You're supposed to say I like all people. I like all kind. Then he dropped this little nugget. He goes like this. He goes, I don't see color. So I stole his TV. I'll do one more joke. There you go. Here you go. It's about them too. One more time around for butterflies, please, too. I love seeing everybody together, man. It's just lovely. And I love being Jamaican. Like, where the Jamaicans at? We're proud people. Woo, you see that? Jamaican people were proud people. Black people as a whole were proud, man. Jamaicans are a little more proud. You ask a Jamaican, we're from Bombaclad, Jamaica. We're from Bacayard. Ask a Trinidadian guy where you're from, he'll sing it to you. I Trini. Ask somebody from Barbados, they'll chat. I'm from Barbados, so I fly fish and cuckoo. Ask an African, where you from? I'm from Ghana. Baby, I love you. But Jamaicans, we're the proudest people. Ask us, where you from? Bombaclad, Jamaica. We're from Bacayard. We're the proudest people till we get to the border. Where you from? Canada. Enjoy Buffalo. And my cousin came up a few years ago before COVID, and he picked up a girl in the Eaton Center just because of his Jamaican accent, because they had no idea what he was saying. He was like, "Sst, sst. Yo, baby girl, I love your structure." And he got her phone number. That would never work for me because I lost my accent from when I was 3 years old. I'm like, "Psst, I like your foundation." Anyways, I love you guys. It's been a pleasure. And love one another. Stay positive, test negative. Thank you very much. Amazing Race, CTV, 9 o'clock Tuesday nights. Check me out.